Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Nice to have some of you here. I know it's a big sacrifice.
Yes.
I know it will be worth the sacrifice. So let's just we are 6 here. Now we are 7. Good. So let's just keep coming. And while we expect more to come, I would like to welcome each and every one of us to this session. This happens to be the last session for the module 1. You know, we have taken so much time and trying to ensure that everyone follows along. So we have done structuring data to a format that we can easily analyze them. And so we are ending today with the text to column feature, which we started last week. This week, we hope to conclude on that and then come onto Power Query, which will now give us entry to pivot tables. And in my communication to us on WhatsApp, I said pivot table and Power Query, they are very fundamental to Power BI, which we hope to look towards the end, which we hope to look at it towards the end of this course. And so it's something that is important for us to pay close attention to really understand that. So as a way of starting, I just want to ask, how many of us were present during the last week session when we started working on text to column? May I see your hand or chat? Okay, let's see. Okay, Bilkisu was present. Fine, that's great. Chidima was here too. Good. Raf was here. 3. That's fine. 3 out of 7, or rather 6, excluding myself. The only 3. The remaining 3. Okay, Zira was not around. Okay, so that's fine. He knows text to column. That's great. Dennis was around. Okay, that's a very good number. Okay, Sally wasn't present. Okay, so we are going to ask someone to lead us as we just take one example. Let's say for Akwa Ibom or Bayelsa or Rivers. We want someone to just take the lead and say, okay, I want to lead and direct us on what to do. So that once we're able to go through one, then we'll now just delve into Power Query. So who would like to go? Who would like to lead us and say, okay, this is how to go about it? Okay, Bilkisu, that's great.
Okay, unfortunately, I won't be able to share my screen. Will it be possible for me to lead?
Yes, just tell us what to do. So
Okay.
let me just clean this point.
Okay.
So what we have done is we have copied each of these exactly as they are from the PowerPoint or the text document. Okay, so what do we do now? Remember that what we want to do, let me just explain this. We have this as a narrative of a report, and we want to analyze this. There's no way we can analyze this as it is until we bring them up in a tabular form. And so what we want to do now is we want to use a feature in Excel that can help us to present this narrative report into a tabular format. Okay, so we are going to have Fan Belkisu to lead us. So go ahead. What do we do? Hello, Fan Belkisu. Hello. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I guess my network is a bit shaky. So Van Bikisu, are you still there? She has exited.
Okay, so I don't know, I don't know if I can run you guys through, but I'm actually in a noisy place. I don't know if anybody can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so can I go ahead?
Okay, yes, go ahead while we wait for her to
All right,
come.
so since what we want to do, for instance, if it's Akwa Ibom that we want to actually
work with
tabular form, yeah. So you need to click on that cell. That's the cell 1, where you have Joan. So you have to go to data.
Okay. Is it just selecting this or selecting all of them?
You should select all of them so that all of them will be able to, since you're working with all of them. So you need to go to data.
Okay. Yeah, here's my data.
Okay, so you need to go to text to column. Under data tools, you see text to column.
This one, good.
Yeah, so since you can see that by default, the fixed width is already selected, but since we actually have various things we need to look at, you need to go to delimited. So you need to uncheck that and check the delimited. So you need to go to next. So click on next. So by default, you're seeing tab. So the thing now is it depends on what you want. Looking at the data that you have, you need to now actually pick what you want. So how do you want it to be separated? Is it by commas? Is it by space and all that? So basically, I think you need to uncheck the tab so that you can select your comma and probably the space as well, based on what you want. So you need to now go to next. So as it is now, if you finish this now, it will actually give you what you want, but it will have to replace the original data. So it depends on what you want. If you don't want it replaced, you now go to this destination, click on the arrow there that you're seeing on the destination to highlight that. Yeah, so since it's highlighted, you now go to where you want to place it, probably another column where you want to place it, you highlight it there, and you go back there to click on the down arrow. So you now go back and you finish it. Yeah, so you now have your data there the way you want it, actually. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ralph. Yes, Fambilkisu network kicked you out, but I'm glad you've joined back. Oh, is she? Okay, yeah, she's here. All right, so from here, this is the same thing we do for all the states here. And remember, all we need to do is to begin to remove the roads that we do not want. For instance, we do not want this, so we select what we don't want to be included in the table. We'll select it and we'll right click, we delete. So we want this to shift towards the left. So it's already selected, it goes off. Here, we don't want this also. We select and delete, shift towards the left. And then here, we don't want this. We select, delete, shift to the left. So we have our data the way we want. All right, so if we're able to get to this point, that's fine.
Question, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, so yeah. So I was actually wondering, is there no smarter way to do this rather than, because assuming now that you have lots of data, now you need to start removing what you don't want manually and all that. Is there any smarter way to get this done? I'm just thinking.
Smarter way, there could be, and it depends on, so let me just do on a lot of, let me undo some things. Let's undo up to this point and see what we have here, right? You know, with Excel, you can never say not possible. So many things may be possible. So now let me just look at this table, the way the thing is. I'm trying to see if we can use flash fill. If we use flash fill,
is there no command function we can use to probably say remove this?
Just to get this thing organized the way you want, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of any for now.
Okay, fine, that's fine. Let's go ahead.
It's something worth looking into.
Yeah, we can think
I see any,
because I actually thought through that. In fact, that was what I was looking out for today, to see if there's a way we can do that. Let's go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I don't know any, at least for now. So it's something we can think through, okay? So
yeah.
So now let's go back to what we had. Delete. 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 Okay, so yeah. All right, so the next thing we want to do, now we have arrived at this point, but the next thing we want to do is to bring it up to a format that we can now use either a table or a pivot table. Remember, I said this thing we are looking at now, it looks like a table, but actually it's not an official Excel table. So for us to convert this, we need to work on it and have it in a particular structure. So but before then, remember that we have dates over here. And then the first date, the first day that sale was made was 7th June, 2022. So So these are the dates now. And the next thing I want us to look at is here, we just need to put all this. This is for Akwa Ibom. So we need to have Akwa Ibom here, Akwa Ibom here, Akwa Ibom here. So all these places will be Akwa Ibom. The reason is we are going to merge this table and this table and this one into one single table. And so these people whose sales come from those respective states, we need to indicate their states. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type Akwa Ibom here, but I don't want to type it one after the other. This is another trick that I'm going to show us. I want to type Akwa Ibom once and let it appear in all these selected cells. So I've selected them and I'm going ahead to start typing Akwa Ibom. When I am done typing what I want to paste in the cell, I'm going to hold down my control button on the keyboard and then I will hit enter. And then what I have typed will appear in all the cells that I selected. So I have selected this. I'm going ahead to type, sorry, this is so tiny, but once, okay, let me just finish it. Now let me just, let me increase this font. I think the font is about 28 or so that we can see what I'm typing. So I'm going to type Akwa Ibom. You can see that is Akwa Ibom typed with all the 5 cells selected. So I'm going to hold down my control button and I'm going to hit enter. And all the cells now have what I had already typed once. All right, so this is now my state. So I can put state here. Let me just make everything big, okay? Okay, so let me just put here, let's say 18. I think we are here. So this is very big, very large in terms of, all right, so this is where we want to be. And this one, let me just bring them together. I think we have this thing far away from here. Okay, we have it up, I guess. Great, so this is where we are. So can we repeat this? Can we do this? Just follow this, what I just did, and just 2 commands. First of all, you type your dates and then you scroll it. Okay, Dr. Lillian, I think you were not available last week. That's why we shared this on the WhatsApp group. Let me see if I can reshare that again from that group.
Please, it will be good if we can reshare.
Okay. I'm just scrolling back to find where we shared that. So sorry. I think it was, we shared that, right? Trying to find the, okay, let me just, it's taking me time. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to share that right away. So I've dropped it there. Please confirm if you have seen it. Can anybody confirm receipt? Okay, Amaka has confirmed. Thank you. So let's continue.
Yes, I've seen it. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you. So let's have everyone do this now. And so let me just make this one good. So if everyone has done this, that's fine. Let's give ourselves just 5 minutes, please. Let's do this, and then we can proceed to other things. Anyone done? Okay, yes. You are likely going to have issues with rivers because of the, what's it called? The commas, several of them. So you may see the 1 naira separated from the other rest, separated from 833, 503, 505, and so on and so forth. Because we commanded it to separate wherever there is a comma. So what you need to do is to click inside of it, and then remove the commas where you see this. Sometimes those are some of the issues. It may work for some, like even in the first one we worked, we also had 1,000 or 1,000 separated, but it didn't go, I'm not sure it separated that. It just did it correctly. I guess so. I want to be sure. So just go ahead and remove the commas from within the value, and let only the commas that is available be the ones separating the values from another value. I think I explained this. I told us ahead on that during the first time we did it last week, that this is what is likely to happen. So we need to be very mindful of that. Okay. And
please, please, can you give just a 1 minute or 2 recap on that? Because I'm finding it difficult on what we expected to do. I joined like 5-10 minutes late. and I can't get the grip.
Okay, I think there's another thing again that needs to happen. There is a PowerPoint which we also shared containing this. Let me.
On the WhatsApp.
I need to share that now. I need to also share that. You can see, I hope this is it, structuring. Yes. Let's see now this is module 1 structure. Okay, so we had this, these are the scenarios. So these are the scenarios that we are working on. And I think, let me also see if I can get this PowerPoint shared. Just a minute. Okay, so the PowerPoint document is there in the WhatsApp group. So if you go to slide 19, 20, and 21, so just copy those things and paste them on your spreadsheet and then run what we just did. Dr. Lian, are you getting me?
Yes, please. Yes, I am.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Is it my network? Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Am I breaking off?
It's possible because we're hearing you.
Okay. So I have dropped the PowerPoint document on the WhatsApp group where we have what we are displaying on the screen now. So all we need to do is copy the content of each slide, then go straight and paste it on the spreadsheet, and then use the text to column feature to align the values into columns. Just what we did. That's what we're supposed to do. Are we good to go now? Chidima done for all. So
what? Hello, question. You were saying something about
rivers?
You were saying something about rivers, and you said there's something we need to do.
Yes, I've sorted it.
Sorry? Okay, because you have sorted it. Okay, was that Ralph that was speaking?
Yeah, you said you were saying something about rivers and that we need to do something. What did you say we should do?
I said for rivers, you see, for rivers, I've done some editing here where I had the 1,000 separator. I removed it. I removed the 1,000 separator from the values and then leave the comma to separate other values from the others. So if you don't leave, if you don't separate that, wherever it says comma, that 1,000 separator.
You did that manually. You did that manually.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if we use anyway, don't worry. Okay.
Hello, I seem not to be hearing him. Maybe it's my network. Or can anybody hear him?
No.
Sorry, I got knocked off. My network had issues, but I'm back, right? Hello, everyone.
Yes, you are back.
Okay, so sorry. So where are we now? How many people have done this? Fabikisu, you are done, right?
Please explain what we're supposed to do.
Okay. There is a report from 3 states which we have shared in the WhatsApp group. It's a PowerPoint. So what we are supposed to do is to copy them out and paste them just the way we did here. This is for the first slide, Akwa Ibom. This is for the second state, which is on second slide, Bayelsa. And then the third slide contains the report for rivers. So once we have pasted them here, we expected to use the text to column feature and come to this point. This. And then this one was the additional thing that I said we need to do. So this one, and then this one. So if we're able to do this for each state, then we are good to go. When using the text to column, if you come to rivers, because there are several values separated, thousands separated by that 1,000 separator. Because we are using a comma as one of our delimiters, it's going to insert, it's going to separate wherever you have the 1,000 separator. It's going to insert a column line there. So I said, let's do that manually, remove the 1,000 separators from the values before applying the text to column process. So that's what we are supposed to do. And I said, let's take 5 minutes to do that for all the states.
Okay, and then
so we started receiving reports.
There was something.
Go ahead,
there was something you did that you removed, that you shifted to the right or something. I can't remember.
Okay, yes. If after you have done that, you will see that there are some texts that are separated. Some texts are in certain columns. So we say we don't need those ones. So all we needed to do was select them, right-click, and choose to delete. Then this option will come up. So we want this one to be deleted. And then what happens to this other one here? We move them towards the left so that they can occupy the space created. So that's what we did. And then we remove the other text values which we do not want.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
In what situation would one need to apply this? That's
good.
What
Now, sometimes program people, they may come with, this might appear like an executive summary. You say, so and so state, so and so country, so and so facility, or so and so company. At the end of the period, these were the things that were submitted. This person submitted sales of so and so. So this is just like a narrative report. And we want to run analysis. So we came to this point when we started discussing the different ways that data can come, and they are not easily analyzable. This can be picked from Facebook reports. Somebody just posted something there, and you feel like you need to analyze this, or they give you, please, there is a post on Facebook. It was not tabulated. Somebody just typed something and then pasted there. It could also be on the internet, somebody's website. They just narrated this. So we said sometimes data can come in this format, and this is a report. But if you want to run analysis on this now, probably somebody tells you, this is what I have. Can you tell me what I should do to increase these sales? So by looking at this, there's nothing you can do until you put them on a spreadsheet. So it is the process of putting them on a spreadsheet that we are looking at what are the features in Excel that can help us put these values into a format that we can now run analysis on. So by the time we are done with this, we'll see now we can begin to analyze this data and bring out some intelligence hidden in them that we can use to advise the organization that this is what is happening. And so if you do this, you will increase your performance. If you do this, the other thing will happen. So that's what this is all about.
Hello?
Yes, please. So first of all, I want to find out if Dr. Lillian, are we on the same page now?
Okay, I understand where it can be used now. So what you're expecting us to do is just to, first of all, set up this table ourselves.
Yes, use what we have learned now and then put them on the table so that you have them on the spreadsheet on that tabular format. And then we can continue the next process that we need to do to analyze it. Someone else was speaking. Someone wanted to ask a question, right?
Yes, it's me. Okay,
Ralph.
So I was just thinking through as regards to that revert that we had to do manually because of the comma separating the 1,000.
Yes.
So I had to just do some. So I'm just thinking maybe we could also try that because I'm just thinking beyond it. Maybe you have lots of data to work on because that's the beauty of Excel that you now need to start doing this thing manually. So I just tried using control find and replace, and it also worked. It gave me the same answer. So I think it's something we can also use maybe when we're working with large data. And just do control find the comma and replace it with nothing, and it worked. So I think I just wanted to bring that.
If you do that, that's fine. If you do that, you can replace them, but eventually where you need to have the comma, really, you won't have it. It will replace it with 0. And that means you can only use a space. Is that correct?
No, you're not replacing with anything. So it has the space still remains. Remember that when we did the limits, there's comma and space. So the space will still work for it. So it's still
that's what I'm saying. So now we'll only use space as our delimiter, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's a good one. That's fine. So everyone should understand how to use that Control F, which is fine, and you use it to find certain characters or text, and then you can now replace wherever it finds it. Let it replace with what you want. And with that, you can remove all the commas. And then during our setup, you can use only space as your delimiter. So Ralph, thanks for that. That is a good one. So how many people have done now?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
yes, Famzira, yes.
That last thing, Control F.
Yes.
Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Okay, so
Control F so they can delete this.
So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
You can see this is for rivers, right? So assuming I have this now, let me zoom. Assuming I have this, I've selected where I want to find and replace. Okay. So you see wherever I have a comma, I want to remove them.
Yes.
So I've selected what I want. I'm going to hit Control F to bring this find and replace. Can you see it on the screen?
Yes, I can see it. Find
and replace. Yes. So I'm going to ask Excel to find, I have typed a comma.
Okay.
And then I want it to replace it. There is nothing here.
Yes.
So keep looking at this selected field. Once I click replace all, everything here is gone. Okay. All the commas have gone. And there are 28 commas that have been replaced here. You can see all done. We made 28 replacements.
Okay, thank you. That's they will now use tab to separate. Okay.
Exactly, yes. So you now use your other ones to you just use space.
To replace it.
You just use space to replace.
Yeah, you use space when you go to text to column.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Yes. Thank you, Ralph, for this.
Sorry if we're dragging you back. Those of us that were like 10 minutes late didn't actually get. I think the last lady asked the same question. Sometimes it may be good to have a recap. Are we expected now to lift these things manually into those spaces, or we copy and get and look for, or did you show them a way to copy and put it into the table?
Okay, what we did, I'm going to do that now. What we did was just to copy those things from the way you see the way the data is, the way you find it, either in a document or website or Facebook or anywhere, as long as it is a text reported. So I am just going ahead to copy them. So just You can see the PowerPoint, right? Can we see the PowerPoint on my screen now? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you. We can see it.
Good. Fam Lillian, are you here?
Yes, I am. I can see you.
Okay, so I have selected, this is the first report from Akwa Ibom. So I have selected it, I have copied it. So I'm taking us back now to the Excel where we have. So I have come to the Excel. Is my Excel on the screen right now?
Yes.
So I'm pasting it here. So let me just reduce this, the text, the font size. So this is what I just copied. And this is where we started work. And so, okay, this is where my sales starts from Joan. So I'm going to my data tab. Coming under my data tool here, I have this text to column over here. So I click this, the wizard opens up. We have our delimiter. So we are going to use it, just like Raf explained. So I choose this. I click next. We are going to use comma and space. Now, each time, let me uncheck this. This is how this data looks like exactly now. But looking at our data, the data is separated by comma and by space. So if I first of all choose comma, wherever there is comma on this, it has inserted a straight line separating them into columns. But I have this some of this money here, which I need also to put into columns. There is no comma here, that's why they are left. But in between them, we have space separating them. So if I go ahead and select space, I will now have some of them now separated into columns. This is what I want. So I'm going to click next. If I click finish, this new one will replace here. But I want to have this one retained. So I'm going to click next so to give me the option of selecting where I want it pasted. So I want it pasted somewhere here or here. So I'm pasting it on from F2 and I finish. It comes over here. So this is what we have done. And so this has become somehow arranged in tabular format. Remember that we are interested in the values, the sales. I don't want this. I can't make use of this. Let me see, Joanne. What happened to its? Okay, there are still some here. So let me just get all of them into some place here. Okay, so I don't want these daily sales. These are text which I do not want to use in my analysis. So I want to take them away and carry these ones towards my left. So I'll click to delete, move it towards the left. These ones move towards the left. These reported, they are not values. So I'm going to select them to delete them, also move towards the left as an option. Sales are, these are text, which I don't want. So I delete them, moving my other cells towards the left. So I have this data that I can now work on to analyze. So with this one now, Joanne's sales are tabulated. James' sales are tabulated. All of them are tabulated. This is where we want to arrive. From this, we have arrived at this point. And with this point, we can do analysis. We can even come here and say, what's the total sales made by Joanne? And for each of them, we run our analysis here. Then the other thing that I say we should do is to write the dates. Are you all getting me? Have I lost you guys? Okay. So this first day was 7th of June, 2022. And so I can just go ahead, duplicate, and then I have up to 11. So these are my 5 days. And I said that since this is states, sales from one state, which is Akwa Ibom, let us write here as the state. Alternatively, we can come here and write state. So I want to write state here so that this state, all these ones are from one state. So I want to write something here. I want to type at only once and then let it duplicate across all the selected cells. And I say it's one trick also that I want to share with us. So select where you want the same thing you are going to type to appear. I want it to appear in all these 5 cells. So I've selected all the 5 cells. So I will start typing Akwa Ibom. I finished typing. So I'm going to hold down my control button and then press enter. Holding down my control button, pressing enter, makes all that I have typed to paste on all the cells selected. So this is something that we need to do for all the states, because we are going to combine them. Remember, this is a sales from one organization. The organization has branches in Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, and Rivers. So we are going to do analysis at the national, at the headquarters level, and then do it at the state level, one after the other. But for us to do that, we need to use a pivot table. And one of the rules for using pivot table is that all of your data must be arranged under headers. So for us to arrive at that point, we are going to use another feature. So that's why I share in my post earlier in the day that we are going to finish this text to column, delve into Power Query, and then from there, we'll begin our analysis with pivot table. So this is not right. This table is not ripe for pivot table. We need to use another feature to work on this and structure it in a way that we can then analyze with pivot table. So, but for us now, let us transform this text data into this tabular format. So that's where we are. So does that make sense?
Okay, please. Yes, it does. Just one question. Where I missed you slightly was when you copied what we are going to paste, and you are going to start pasting from F. If you could just come under here and just show you, do you just click on what the command you gave to click on to start on F?
On F.
What? Because you pasted Joanne. Because you still,
okay,
you know that, that what you copied started from Joanne.
Is it what I copied or what we
how you pasted? How you pasted?
Are you talking about this one?
Yes,
or this
yes.
one?
How we pasted the from the F column. This one is fine.
Here. Okay, from here. If you are able to go from here using the text to column.
Yes.
Using
you
text to column.
Data. Okay, text to column.
Yes, the text to column. And then you do all this necessary thing. By the time you come to this point, you collapse this. And then if you like, you put it in F. If you like, you put it anywhere. If you put it here, that is where this is going to be pasted from. Wherever you put it, that is where it's going to be pasted from. So the important thing is to go through this and then come to this point where you have your destination here, and then you can choose where you want to paste it.
Okay. Okay, we'll try that now.
Okay, please, let's just use, this is 1 hour gone on this alone. We wanted to delve into, at least make introduction to Power Pivot Table today. But let's see what we can do. So let's take the next 5 minutes to do that, please. Thank you.
Sorry, when I click on the text to column, it's telling me something like my Excel can convert only 1 column at a time.
You need to select all these ones.
I did. I selected the whole from
No.
Joan down.
Hello. What you did.
Yes.
Just go ahead and see. Maybe this is like this, probably like this. All you need to do, just select only A. Don't select all of them like this.
Okay.
Or rather,
I should select.
double click. Just click on so that you separate. All of them should be in 1 column. You must have selected more than 1 column.
Okay. First of all, yes. Okay, all of them should be in 1 column.
They are already in 1 column. All you need to do is open up the column so that you know where they end. You don't need to select more than 1 column.
Okay.
Are we good to go?
Yeah.
How many more minutes do we have? All right, we have just about a minute. Okay. So once we are done that, we are done with the 3 states. We will come to this point. This is what we are supposed to have. And so if we're able to get to this point, those of us who have done for all the states, this is how it should look like. So once we are done with this, we have concluded text to column. So we are going to go into Power Query. Any questions so far? Any questions so far?
Sir, with this session be shared among us as usual?
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay.
So we are going to share this. Already we are live on YouTube, and so we'll just share the link so that we can also go back and look at it and then walk along with it. So just give me a minute. I need to pull out a presentation that we'll just discuss briefly on pivot table. And then that will give us a heads up on what we need to do when it comes to using pivot table. Minutes. Okay, so let me just share what we have here. Sorry. So just give me, I just mistakenly closed that tab, okay. So I'm going to run a very brief presentation on pivot table. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so pivot table is what we are going to use in our analysis. So it's just a tool. We are all familiar with it, or at least we must have heard about it. It's what we use to run analysis, and is also available in all spreadsheet programs and also used in database table. Now it helps you to look at your data from different points. You know what a pivot is. You can change it from different directions. You can view it from different directions. You can pivot it. So it also helps us to filter out and extract some basic significance about our data. Anyone can look at it from different directions, from different ways and perspectives. Now there are rules, and these are the rules that will guide us in all that we'll be analyzing with pivot table. Number one, all your data must be in a tabular form, with each column having a field name. So all your columns must have a header, a name that you give to that column. And that header titles must be unique. You can have column 1 as the header, name, and then column 2, name again. No. If you do that, pivot table or Excel will rename it as 2 because it cannot see the same header titles. Number 3, all the units of every column, they should be uniform. For instance, if you have a column where you are dealing with amounts or value or currency, the currency you are going to enter in that column should be unique, should be uniform. You cannot enter 500 and you say it's $500, and then under it again, for another record, you write maybe 250 naira, and then the next one you say 210 pounds. No, if you are using a column for 1 unit, everything you enter there must be in 1 unit. As much as possible, avoid blank cells, and especially in the first column. Number 4 rule, remove any totals from your table or subtotals. When you insert pivot table, it's going to show you the options to bring in total, both for total in the columns and totals in the rows. And always leave blank rows and columns to surround your pivot table. As we begin using pivot table, you will see the need for not just pivot tables, tables generally. You see the need to leave spaces round about the table, because sometimes as you are working, if there is any data just beside it, it can pick it up and include in your analysis. Okay, so these are some of the things that are going to guide us. Now, with this in mind, if you look at the Excel that we are working on, this is somehow close to obeying those rules. For instance, this table, this is the header, staff, and these are all the staff. That's correct. If you look at this side again, these are the states, and we have a header here, say state. That's fine. If you look at this one here, this is sex, and we have all the different sex values for each of them entered. However, all these are supposed to come under a header called date. So this is where we need to do some flipping. And that is where Power Query comes in. Have I made any sense up to this point? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I want this to sink down so that when we are using Power Query, we know why. We know where we want to get to. So that when we get there, we will know that we have reached there. Are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
The number of years I'm receiving, not encouraging.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
It has improved.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. So at this point, let me ask, is there anybody who is not with us? Because we are living here now. We are going to work on this now to cause this to be like a table that we want to use pivot table and run with. So what we need to do now is we want all these ones to be here. Then all these ones will come under a date. So we are going to flip it around so that we'll see that Joanne on 7th of June, 2022, Joanne sold 758. And still Joanne on 8th of June sold 841. And all of them will be under here. So that means we are going to have Joanne repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then James will also repeat 5 times. And then Kenneth will also repeat 5 times. The same thing, every one of them will repeat like that 5 times. We are not going to do this thing manually. We are going to use a feature in Excel to help us pivot this so that it will help us run our analysis. And then we are going to do that same for each of these states. And thereafter, we can merge them to have one table. And then we can now, if we want to view any particular value for any state, all we need to do is click the state and the staff will appear with their values and the dates and so on and so forth. And in the organization, we can click show us all the female. You will see that the Excel will now retrieve female workers from this state, female from this state, female from this state, and bring it. And so when you want to do a comparison between the sales made by female and the male staff, you can look at them individually at that national level. So this is what we want to achieve And to help us do that, we need to go to Power Query. Now, Power Query is found still under data. And then all these places you see get and transform data. See queries and connections. All these ones, you use them to work your Power Query. So what we are going to do is, you know, in Excel, even one topic is so huge. Pivot table, if you want to deal with pivot table, we can spend up to more than 1 week. We are working, trying to know the features of pivot table on daily basis. It might take us a week. The same thing with every feature that you see in Excel. We are going to introduce us to all of them, but not every detail of each feature. So those ones that are relevant in our analysis, we will show you, and then you can explore by yourself to know what happens with the other features and menus. So the first thing that we need to do is, I need us to convert this to official table. So I'm going to run a different method now. I'm going to work and get a table on Power Query for Akwa Ibom. And then I'll give us time to walk through for the next one. So please pay very close attention as I go through this. This particular file, I've shared it in our WhatsApp forum. All you need to do is to download it and then come to this data structure scenario 3A to C, then delete the other part. Just hold down, just come, select here, delete the other side containing the table, because that one contains the official table, tables that are officially recognized by Excel. So we are going to create a new one, so that will not be an obstruction to you. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to convert this to an official table that Excel recognizes as a table. And how do you know that? Between this and that table, how will you know? Now I have clicked inside this table, nothing is showing over here. But the moment I convert this to table and I click inside, you will see my table option showing here. Now I'm going to convert this to official table. There are different ways we can do that. I can click inside here and come to Insert tab here. I click Insert, I see my table here. However, there are some that you might see it under here. So if you click here, you will see pivot table and you see table. It doesn't matter. Wherever your own is, try to locate it. So for me now, mine is here, and I click this. Now, because this thing is closely compact together, Excel is guessing that this selection is where I want to use as my table. If I think it's correct, I will go with it. And before I go with it, I want to make sure that my table has headers option here is checked, because these are the headers. Even though all these dates are not what we want, but at least it's giving us a header that on the 7th of June, these things happened. On the 8th of June, these things happened. So we are good to go with it. So I can go ahead and click OK. When I click OK, just watch what is going to happen over here. You will see that the table option will pop up. So I'm going ahead to click OK. See, my table design is there now. My table design is there because it's selected and it's an official, it's a table recognized officially by Excel. So with here now, I can do a lot of design. I can come over here and change the colors. And as I'm hovering over them, it's changing. So you can select whichever one you want. Now, let's say we don't want color. So I click this light on none. I click none. That does not remove the table feature. It is still here. Now, over here, still under this table design, over here, this is a name of the table. So I can click here to rename it. Say, I'm renaming it as Akwa Ibom table. Now, I'm going to click enter, and then let's see what happens. It said the syntax of this name is incorrect. The reason is when you are renaming your table, there should be no space. So Akwa and Ibom, they are separated by a space. That is why it's hollering. So I'm going to rename that Akwa, and then I'll use underscore Ibom. When you use underscore, it eliminates the space, but still gives you the impression that there are two words there. Alternatively, you can just type everything Akwa Ibom without a space. That's left for you, depending on your preference. So I'm going to head to hit OK. It has accepted it. If I click on this one, this table design here is off. But if I click here, it comes up. And I want to click it so that I'll know the name. So this is Akwa Ibom for the table. Now, during the time we are coming to work on analysis, we are still going to discuss some of the features or the advantages of using table. But right now, we want to conclude with a Power Query. Now, I have converted this to table. Let me go back to data. And then I want to now get data. Remember, this is our Power Query. I need to get data from either a range or table. So this is the table. So I'm going ahead, I've already clicked on it. And so when I click here, it knows that that is the table that I am interested in. And so the Power Query editor is loading. After loading, this is what it's going to look like. So I have my table here. This is the head, a header for the staff. But all these ones, like I said before, we need to bring them up so that we can have them under a column called dates. So these ones are correct. They are good to go. These ones, they are good. But all these dates, let's bring them all together under one column. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select those ones that I need to unpivot. The process of bringing all of them into one header is called unpivot. So I'm going to hold down my control button or my shift button, depending on what you are selecting. All that I need to select, they are all closely together, nothing separating them. So I'm going to hold down my shift. Click here. I've selected all this one, even with the one that is in between them. And I'm going to click up to this point. So you see, I've selected all the columns bearing the date. I've selected them, you can see, and I avoided the other ones that are good to go. So I'm going ahead to either right click here and transform. So these are the different things you can do when you are transforming. Now we are concerned with to unpivot the columns. So if I have selected the other ones that are good, I will now come and say unpivot the other columns. But the ones that I have selected are the ones I want to unpivot. So I'm going ahead to click this on pivot columns. Then see what's going to happen. He has brought all of them under one column. He has brought all of them under one column. So for Akwa Ibom, this person who is the first, Joan. Remember, I was explaining on the spreadsheet, I say Joan is going to have 5 entries representing those 5 dates. So I have her sales for 7th, I have her sales for 8th, I have her sales for 9th, and so on and so forth. The same thing happens for each of the staff. We have unpivoted this. And so the next thing we need to do is we need to give it a name. So this, if you now look at the headers, ABC means text. 1, 2, 3 means values. ABC, these are text. ABC is text. However, Excel recognizes dates as numbers. So we are going to change this. So the first thing we need to do is I can double click inside here and rename this as my date. If you like, date or date of sales. I okay that. But I need to change this also to what? To date. So I can either have date and time or date. So if what we are looking for, or if the data that we have has time, we can choose this. But because we only have it in date, I'm going ahead to select date. It has transformed it now to date. Remember, if you did our basic understanding the basis of Excel, we shared with you the queue, the visual queue, and we said all text values, when the ones they are entered into cell, they have left alignment, and while numbers have right alignment. It's a visual cue that you should be aware of when you are running your analysis. Sometimes numbers can be formatted as text and they may give you error. So once it is on the left-hand side, so long as it is not formatted, but those numbers can be text, they can be stored as text. And so it may give you problem when you are running analysis. So now this is done. The date of sales, we have it. And then here, we can now look, maybe we can just say this is our sales. So we are done with this. What do we do now? We can load it. So you come over here. Let's open this. It's either we close it and load to somewhere, maybe if we are running a data model, but let's close and load. So I'm going to close here and load. So it has closed that and it has loaded it. And it has loaded it on a new sheet. And it has named it Akwa Ibom. And if I click here, you see this is my table design. Here, the name is Akwa Ibom with the underscore, but now this is 2 because we created one before, and then it's renaming it following the name that the original table has. And so you can see now that our date of sale, all of them are in the same column. Sales are in the same column, sex, the same column, states, and so on and so forth. So this is what we need to do for the other states. Once we are done that, we are going to have different tables. So we are going to have Akwa Ibom here. We are going to have Bayelsa. we are going to have rivers, all of them loaded on this query and connection segments. Thereafter, we will combine them. And once we have done the combining, then we can now run our analysis. So this is where we need everyone to work on the other states to come to this point. All right, so I think someone's hand is up. Lillian? Well, Lillian,
yes,
please go ahead.
So I was going to, I'm asking for a recap. Not that I've been here very attentive, but so that the movements, we can get used to them.
Okay. So does anyone have any specific, any other question not relating to this or? Okay, Amaka, your hand is up. Please go ahead.
Raise my hand.
Sir, good evening. So
Yes,
I was
good
following
evening.
closely. The only problem is that when it comes to getting the sales to be in numerical form, I'm afraid mine is still in text and it still has the Naira sign on it. So I don't know how to go about that.
Okay, you were the same. You were the one that raised the issue on the WhatsApp forum then?
Yes, I was the same person.
Okay, we'll look into that. I don't know why it should be. Okay, so Director Ma.
Okay, good evening. I also, my own still has the Naira, that's number one. Then number two, the date that I saw on your own, 10th June 2022 and the rest. Me, I don't have it all. I don't know how it happened. I don't have date.
Okay.
The other one, what are the ones that we first, before we came to this point?
Okay. Let me see. Data
I even
scenario
tried
3.
I tried inserting the date, but the format of the date, like this one, the format that I have. I don't know, when did you put this date? I can't remember.
Okay, this one. Okay, it depends on the setting. So just write a date first, and then you can now duplicate it. It
okay,
will come.
Because mine, I couldn't get this format, this specific format. I couldn't get it.
Okay, no, it must not be this specific format.
Okay, okay.
It mustn't be this format. So let me check another one. 7th/ June/22. Let's see how that's happened. Okay, this one is giving me this. So it depends on what you want. I can change this format now. I've come here. Let me go to home. This is my number. And I'm choosing date. Choosing date. Then from this option now, you can choose whichever one that I'm trying to find out where is that slash. So depending on the type of this thing that you are using, the version of the Excel, okay, Saliu, just a minute. I want to, let's go here and see short date. Let's do short date. Okay, this is still the same thing. Okay, let me use it. Let me copy a blank cell, keep it there, and then let's say I'm going to use this 2022. Now this, okay, this seems to be 6/22.
You know, it doesn't take slash because slash means something else in Excel. It does, so that's why it's giving you, it's not returning the slash you.
It depends on the,
command.
Yes, and the specific, it might have to do with our date formatting, which I don't want to go into now. About in the system, you can select your date, the way you want your date to be. Let me see something. So, okay, let's forget about this date now. Let's just be sure that we have our dates. And then I think another basic thing is for us to have a recap. And for the one that has the values, okay, now see what is going to happen. Amaka and director, whose values, if you click inside here and you look on the formula bar here, do you have the Naira showing there? Hello, Amaka, do you have the Naira showing in the formula bar?
Dollar that I'm seeing.
Is dollar you are seeing inside there? Okay, so did you format your this thing in to become dollar?
Let me check.
Okay, Zira, you wanted to say something. Your own is what?
My own showing Naira when I click on it.
Okay, so when you click on one here, are you seeing Naira at this value here, there, here?
Yes.
You are seeing the Naira there. That means seeing it as a text.
Okay, okay.
I think. Okay.
Hello,
Let
sir.
me see. Yes, please.
Okay, sorry, I think the network just knocked me off a bit. So I was saying that so I already started working on the pivots table. Right. I don't know how to even go back to the original slide I was working on. But when I click on the pivots table, it already comes up with a Naira sign. And it shows me on top that it's showing ABC, so it means it's in text. That's why it's not on the other side with a Naira sign, and it's to the left instead of being to the right, like my date, as in unlike my dates that just moved to the right. So how do I go back to the main sheet? I really don't know how to go back there because I reckon that's what. Yeah,
yes,
this is
I guess you're talking about the Power Query.
Yes, that's where I am. So okay, I'm saying how do I go back to the original sheet with the table?
Just go on the tab. You will see that sheet named Data Structure Scenarios, 3A to C.
Maybe you can show me on your screen because I really don't know where to go to on my own screen.
What can you see on my screen? I thought I'm sharing that already.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying how you went back to this place because on my screen I really don't know how to go back to this.
Is it you? Are you on this point now? I want to know where exactly you are.
I'm still on the part where you were still trying to convert, where you were, okay, so I followed you up to the very point where you had named the dates of sales. It was when I got to naming it sales that I couldn't name it sales because the the values couldn't go to the right. It was still looking as a text, not as numerical, numbers. So that's where I got stuck. And then I noticed that I still had the Naira sign. So now I'm saying, how do I go back? How do I even go back to this? I can't remember how to go back to the very main table.
Don't worry. I'm trying to come over to that point. I've done something that Excel is, Power Query is. Let me see the one more thing, autofill. Okay, one more thing, autofill. Okay. Okay, so let me load the Power Query. This is where you say you are, right? Hello, Amaka. Okay, she has left. Okay, so the other question is the Naira is still there for you all. Maybe it's the way you pasted, but I'm trying to see what should be the issue. Is there another person who have a different thing, maybe close to what I have, where this Naira is not showing when you click it? Anyone?
Yeah, mine is not showing, but I'm just wondering, maybe I missed the part where you converted these dates of sales. As in, what did you do? Because I still have the numbers like 7 June 2022, just like you have it here now.
No, this is fine. There's no problem with this.
Oh, okay.
So have you changed it? Just change the name from attributes to date of sale.
I've done
and then
that.
Select this so that's all that needs to happen. The only thing that I'm trying to for them, they have these values here. They say they have Naira there. That's what Amaka is saying, but unfortunately, the network has taken her off. So, Director, can I come to what's the issue?
There's no problem. Just continue. Maybe after I'll check.
Okay. So, is she the one that has joined back? Amaka. Okay, yeah. Amaka, so we are...
Sorry, yeah, I got knocked off by the network.
So you said your Naira is still showing right under this says here, right?
Yes, sir.
And here is showing ABC, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you tried changing it?
Yeah, to click the drop down to know whether it can change. So 1, 2, 3. Can it change?
It didn't change for me.
I want to find out. It might be, I can't really tell. It might be that the way it was copied or system compatibility, maybe the text copied from PowerPoint, once it's pasted on the Excel, it does not see it as values. I mean, as numbers, it sees it as text. I'm not sure why that's happened. But the important thing is that those values, maybe sometimes they may not even come with the currencies. If you paste it, it should recognize it as values. I don't
Are you saying I should go back and take off all the Naira signs?
That's a whole lot of work.
I think I'd even tried that the last time I complained about this, and it still didn't work.
You removed the Naira and...
Yeah, if I recall properly, and then I couldn't just go on with the class.
Okay. You know, I'll look into that. But now, if you were to use only the values, at least you should be able to get those the same things here without the currency symbol, right?
Yeah, so I still have the currency symbol. That's why I'm asking. How do I go back to the sheets, the initial sheet?
So yes,
so that I can try and
you are still
I'm still on this Power Query editor.
So if you come under this thing here, click this one, close the Power Query. If it's an error, close it, and then if it tells you to load, you may discard if you think there is an error. And then just go to this data structure scenarios 3A to C.
Please, can we have the recap?
Okay, so I'm going to, from which point now, Dr. William, is it from converting to table or after converting to table, going to Power Query, which one?
Yeah, this Power Query from the pivot.
Okay, so
yes, after
okay, me where I lost is from the after converting to table, then the next step.
Okay, so what this means is we might end up only doing this and you may not have time to do that. So let me quickly rush through because we have 9 minutes more. So for this now, it's a table, but I'm going to convert it to range. So I click here, click convert to range. So it's range. It's no more table. And so what I want to do now is I want to convert this to table. And so I'm going to use the second method. Remember, I told us that there are 2 methods of inserting table. The first one was to go through insert and then select. But the second one is I'm going to hit Control T, Control, and then T as in table. So when I click this, it still brings up this Create Table Wizard. Again, I'm still going to click or select my table has headers. I've selected everything, good to go. We are here. So I'm going to here. I don't like this, at least for now. So I'm removing that. It's still my table. I come over here. Let's see what happens. Akwa Ibom _Ibom. Yeah, we have it here. So here, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. This is a table, a sheet containing that Power Query. So I'm going to delete this one also. Delete. So we don't have any Power Query now. So we are going to create a new one. So I click here under my data, get and transform data. This is where we work. You need to get your data first. So when we get to Power BI, you will also see these things as part of the Power Query in the Power BI. So I'm going to get from table or range. Now, let me click outside here. I'm not clicking inside this table now. Remember, we just converted this to table. So I'm going to click outside here, and I'm going to click here. So it's going to ask me, which table do I want? So if I want, assuming it's this one, I can click here. But because this is already table, assuming I want to use this, I'll just select this. And it has table. Once I click this, it's going to create the table and it's going to load my query. So I'm going to escape. Click here. Let me just go straight. Because we have created a table, I'm going to click this to load my Power Query editor. So this is where we are. Any questions so far? The recap so far?
So your own was in Naira also on that other part, but when you came onto the Power Query editor, the Naira sign just automatically left.
Disappeared, yes. So I don't know.
It's not the same on mine. It just keeps popping up with the Naira sign.
Maybe what you may first of all do is after you have copied from the PowerPoint and pasted on the spreadsheet, try formatting. Let me finish this and then I'll show you what I want you to do. So okay, those that want recap, yes, please.
Sorry for taking us back. How did you get to this step now? How did you press to get this step now? Where you are now? I have a slight distraction. Sorry, sir.
Okay, so let me close. I'm going to discard. At this point, you know how we created this table, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm going to click anywhere inside this table and I'll ask Power Query to get data from table or range. That is it. Do you get it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is where we are. And then I said the next thing is to unpivot. Just select these ones. Hold down your shift. Select all of them, either one by one, or you hold your shift and select all these ones. They are the ones we want to bring under one particular column called date of sales. Any questions so far? Any questions?
Go ahead. You're following. Go ahead.
So that's all. And I can right click. And then there are several things I can do with this. But our interest right now is to unpivot these ones that we have selected. Unpivot the columns selected. So I'm going ahead to unpivot them. And all of them have come under one. See them here. These are the dates now. And then these are the sales. So I can double click here and write date of sales. And because these are numbers, I click this my ABC, select dates. Then this is the sales, the actual sales. So I simply double click to rename it sales. That's all. So once I'm done transforming my data, there are several things you can do, several transformation. When you click here, take your time to look at several things that you can do here. Some of them, I have not used them because I don't have need for them. If I need to make use of anything, I can come here and study them myself. Okay, so this is all. All I need to do now is to load and close. So any questions so far? This is where we ended our first one, and then we have just done a recap. And right now we are on the time, on the dot. So we will officially close. And if you have any question, please drop it on the WhatsApp group, and then we can look at it. So for Amaka, I will try different things from my end and see what we can do concerning that value. I will try different things and see what happens. It shouldn't be as text, or rather I'll find out why my own is still showing as values without the currency symbol. So thank you everyone for your time.
Please,
thank you, sir.
I just want to ask, with all our own reading Naira, can we do this while it is still carrying the currency?
Yes, you know, sometimes your data in narratives may not even have the Naira value. It might have. So like the one that we're working with now has Naira value. I'm able to use it and work. Some are not finding it very seamless like that. So I still need to look into it and see why in some cases it's appearing like that, so that I can provide further update on that.
Okay, sir. Please don't forget to share on the WhatsApp group so that you can learn. Because I myself am on transit, as I said. So network has been a very tough one on me. So I did not follow all the steps. But I believe when I work on the recap, I can be able to apprehend everything you've taught today. Your lecture is awesome and beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. And please, I will encourage us to subscribe to it. Now, once you subscribe and we share, we make videos and share, automatically you will receive them. So please, as you are viewing, just subscribe so that, like as we are here now, there are some who are already watching this because they subscribe and they got notification that this training is on. So I'm going to share this with us.
Please, where are we supposed to subscribe? It's not referring to the WhatsApp group.
No, once I share the recorded, the link, the YouTube link to the recorded session, all you need to do as you are viewing it is taking you to YouTube and then subscribe. You see a subscribe button there, subscribe. And then anytime there are new videos like this, even without the training, there are times you can just come up. People will ask us questions and we see, oh, this is interesting. People need to hear about it. Then we will make a video and then upload it. We may not be able to meet you directly and tell you there's something new we have shared. But because you have subscribed, you get notification. And then you can quickly look at it. It's a new thing that is coming. And then you can learn from it and benefit from it too.
Okay, so please, what about the last week one? Has it been, I didn't see it on the...
last week on, you know, we didn't really do new things. It was what we did the previous week that we repeated. And that previous week also, we did a video on count if. So it was the count if that was repeated. So we didn't record that. And then we also started this text to column towards the later part of last week. We didn't record it also. So, but that's why we started with text to column today. And then all we did today are on record. So if you attended the 2 weeks on and today's on, you haven't missed anything.
Okay.
Yes.
So this should now be posted in the WhatsApp group. And then when we try to view it, it will take us to YouTube and we can.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So
should I assume that 2 weeks ago was posted also? Because
yes, 2 weeks ago, what we did 2 weeks ago, it was posted.
Okay, in the
yes. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thanks for your time. And have a very wonderful week.
And you too, sir. And you too, sir.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Cheers.
Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye. Yeah.